8 minutes and 10 seconds to our next heat. And here are the drivers and the teams for our Heat 4B coming up in 8 minutes. We're looking at the U91, the Goodman Real Estate, and the heat is on. That young man, Andrew Tate, out of Canton, Michigan. He's a hockey player. He's a hydroplane driver. This guy is a consummate racer. I'm sure he is extremely focused down there. I made the comment this morning that maybe these teams had their number one bullet and their number one combination sitting in the truck and they were going to save it for the final. With the situation that Goodman Real Estate is in right now and Andrew Tate in this heat, they may pull that right out for this heat, because without scoring the way we have it in our numbers, without scoring the victory here, he's not going to be on the front row.
Yep. So Corey is he's been amazing all weekend. He's got already over, he's won everything that he's lined up to, let's be honest. 1,280 points so far this weekend. Corey's been unstoppable. Hasn't always been easy. There've been some close finishes, but we talked a little bit before about how focused Corey is when the pressure is on. So he's not going to make it easy for Andrew Tate to get that much needed first place, that's for sure. And Corey's going to be going for gold as he has been all weekend.
That's the only way Corey knows how to drive, and the only thing I would say about that is those first place finishes he has had this weekend, he'd trade them all for a second place finish for that first place finish in the final. J. Michael Kelly, his teammate in the U8, the Beacon Electric. Where's Mike? There he is. He has he's got his game face on there. This guy has never, from a qualifying perspective, never has he ever had the fastest unlimited hydroplane. He's never been the top qualifier, yet the guy's got, I think, 17, 18 wins to his credit. He gets the most out of his equipment. He's run real well out here this weekend. He's also had some trouble this weekend. If he and his teammate Corey Peabody can pull it all together right here, they can make it tough on Andrew. But watch Andrew.
Yeah.
Watch Andrew in this one.
J. Michael Kelly's, his team arguably been working the hardest out here. They've been swapping parts, changing things, trying everything, and then they got rewarded with a win in the heat that, with the emotions that were coming through, it looked like he'd won everything at that point. But it was a much-needed boost for the team, little vindication for all the work they put in, and I'm sure it was sweet for him, and he'd probably like more of that today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking at this lineup with the two Beacon boats, the 8 and the 9, the two Strong Racing boats, and Andrew Tate and the Goodman, I'm not concerned. I'm trying to put myself in the thought process of Andrew Tate. I think he would I think he'll take an inside lane if he can get it. But if he can't get an inside lane, I think he'll at least breathe a little easier if maybe it's Kelly in one. But I think Andrew's really concerned. I think he's got to be inside Corey Peabody. I don't think he hasn't been able to drive around Corey yet. 5 minutes to the start. The boats are going to go away from the dock. This should be fun. There's a big chess match about to take place out on the Columbia River. It's Heat 4B of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup, the 115th running, and it should be a barn burner. J. Michael Kelly, Corey Peabody, Andrew Tate coming your way right now for Heat 4B. Looking for the boats coming out from the far end, and there they are down there. They are all three away from the dock. Buckle up, Mr. Faust. This could be a good one. There is a lot on the line. Andrew Tate got to do something he has yet to do all weekend. Let's score a first place finish and put himself on the front row. And the cat and mouse game is going to begin early. So you look at him coming up the backstretch. Andrew's right where he wants to be. He's got the inside lane right now, but watch some of what is going to go on here, because I don't think they're going to just sit there and run like that. Right now, J. Michael Kelly on the left of the screen, he gives it a squirt. He's got enough lead on anybody. He can go anywhere he wants. He can cut the race course now if he wants to. And thanks, Mike, for making me look good for that. I appreciate that there, young man. He comes across the race course, and a perfectly legal maneuver. He can cut across the course there, and so now he is coming down the front straightaway with 3:30 to the start. That is the clock up in the upper right corner again. And Apparently it was a good idea. Everybody liked cutting the course because here comes Corey and Andrew behind him. You see him there on the screen behind it. It's happening quick. Now Andrew's already starting to move here. He tried to give it a squirt coming off that corner, and Corey said, I'm staying right here.
So as long as Corey stays within that rooster tail, then Andrew cannot come over, correct?
That is correct. Now, Andrew couldn't go anywhere there because of where Corey Peabody was. Now, Corey made a left-hand turn and went ahead and cut the race course, but he had Andrew kind of stuck right there in lane 2 where he couldn't have gone anywhere, but Corey wanted to jump to the other side. Andrew's now going to come off of the corner down here, start up the backstretch. You see Andrew down there at the bottom of the screen. Those 2 little white dots up there at the top end, that is the first one up there is J. Michael Kelly. The second one's Corey Peabody, and he's fallen off plane again. He's dropped off to ground idle one more time.
Honestly, he's got it spinning again, but that is something that's happened to Corey every single weekend this year when he goes to ground idle. Sometimes he blows that thing out, and it's cost him some results and points over the year.
Cost him dearly in Madison, Indiana when that happened. But still, our boats are spread out quite a bit. Looking at the screen there, at the top of the screen, that is Andrew Tate. Now, the way this looks, it looks like Corey Peabody is the second boat coming up there. It looks like he'd be very happy to stay in lane number 2. His teammate, J. Michael Kelly, sitting in 1 word, a minute 55, Tanner. They only have to stay behind the start-finish line at 1:15. Let's see how this plays out. Corey dropped it down again.
Oh, no.
Corey dropped it down again, and here goes Andrew, and he's inside of him. And Corey right now is kicking himself up there because he lost his lane position. He doesn't declare the lane yet. Now watch this, because now Andrew's down. Watch Corey. Corey's going to go around him now. Corey's going to have the opportunity to jump in on Andrew. Oh, Andrew's in a tough spot right now.
He sure is.
Andrew's in a real tough spot. There's 1:20 until the start. Andrew's getting it spooled up, but he's going to be on the far outside in this one, Tanner.
And honestly, he needs to do nearly race pace if he's going to make it around to the start line. He hasn't even got back up on a plane yet. He's got it refired and spooling up, but he's going to be full race pace to get back up to the start-finish line.
And fans, you could see him in the background there. He is at the apex of the top of the corner, and the other boats are all the way down to the bottom end of the race course. You got to go, Andrew, and reminder to our fans, he cannot cut the course. He's got to go all the way down. So, Andrew, you got to go, young man. This is a heat he's got to win. And he has really got himself in a bad spot, and he's only got 40 seconds to get all the way around. He's picking up the right spots, and he's trying to really roll here. Oh my goodness, what a development. They get too fancy sometimes trying to get that inside lane. You put the fire out, and it's all over real quick. You're looking at Andrew Tate there as the leaders go to the entrance pin at the top end of the corner. 4 times around this 2.5-mile race course, it's going to be Kelly in 1. It is going to be Peabody in 2, and it's going to be Andrew Tate chasing the field. Guys, our leaders do not want to jump this start. They're 2-1 mark. Perfectly clean start for sure. We'll get it officially, but there's your 2 strong racing boats. It is indeed a clean start, and it's Kelly in 1, and it's Peabody on the outside. I think Kelly's going to get down there first, and he is. J. Michael Kelly on the inside has got about a 3 or 4 boat length lead on Corey Peabody. Going to be interesting to see how they play this, Tanner.
Now Kelly has lane choice. Peabody certainly had a faster boat in qualifying. We'll see if it stretches its legs a little bit on the ends of these straightaway. But J. Michael Kelly, man, he performed so well. He was on the inside in the heat 2, and if he repeats that performance, this will be very difficult for his teammate.
Top end of the race course on the first of 4 times around. Look at Corey come right on the outside. I can tell you what, these 2 guys are not going to back down, and Corey is going to push as hard as he can to get around J. Michael Kelly. Might be easy to say back off. It's not going to happen. Virtually dead even at the end of lap 1 of 4. And unfortunately, there on the left side of the screen behind everybody and coming across start finish right now is an extremely disappointed and upset Andrew Tate. His Gold Cup could be slipping through his fingers right now.
Yep, Corey catches a ripple there on the wave, and J. Michael Kelly's able to stay on the inside of it. Doesn't seem to matter as Corey stretches legs on that back straightaway. With that wider turn in lane 2, he does seem to maximize his exit speed a little bit better.
He does indeed. Darryl Strong, how about that shot right there? Beacon Plumbing out front, U9. Corey Peabody, second place, the bright red and yellow. Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly. Kelly hanging right on the inside. Good boat racing here. Now, look at that line that you talked about. Yeah, Corey's got a little bit wider line. He keeps the speed up. Mike had a good corner on the inside, but he kind of hit some rough water there. The boat took a hop on him, and I think that's going to cost him a little bit.
He sure did. And it's, you know, after riding in that vintage boat, I can tell you, you can't see those ripples until it's too late. So he's more than halfway through that corner where you even saw those ripples coming. And at that point, all you can do is blast through them and hope for the best.
Bottom end of the race course on the third of 4 times around. And talk about driving somebody clean. Corey's given his teammate J. Michael Kelly a lot of room on that inside lane as they start up the backstretch on lap number 3. And now it's a full rooster tail lead for Corey Peabody over his grade school friend, his neighborhood friend, and his teammate here in the unlimited class, J. Michael Kelly. Andrew Tate is driving hard, but Tanner, it's not going to make any difference right now if everything continues to go and these boats continue to run. He's not going to close on anybody.
No, at this point, need to minimize the risks. I mean, teammates are doing each other solid now that they're not hull to hull. You know, they're already looking ahead to the final at this point.
They are. The white flag is on the race course, which means this is the final lap. Corey's going to get down there with about a rooster tail lead on J. Michael Kelly. There you got a great shot of Kelly coming right at you. Corey's driving it. Whoa, Corey hit a big roller down there. The boat came completely out of the water. You saw it there from the drone. You can see there in the wash halfway through the corner, there's all of a sudden no mark in the water where he really skipped. But he brought the boat down, and you see Mike was able to close up some ground on him there, but he still got basically a rooster tail behind, and that's how quick it can change. This is the final lap. Corey just has to negotiate the top end of the race course, and he will bring it down and pick up 400 more points. It's been a big weekend so far for Corey Peabody, but as I said when we got started, he'd trade all of those first place finishes for the one coming up at 5 o'clock. He is your winner of Heat 4B of the 2025 APBA Gold Cup. Corey Peabody, U9 Beacon Plumbing, second place. We'll go to the U8 Beacon Electric and J. Michael Kelly. And oh boy, here comes a very disappointed and I'm sure upset with himself, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, it sure seems to be a fine line about letting these boats blow out at ground idle. And you know, we'd seen Corey do it a couple times. I don't remember seeing Andrew Tate have that happen to him, but it's unfortunate, and it can change the results drastically.
It can change them very drastically, and now that's going to change very much how these teams approach our final heat, what their thoughts going to be going into it. But unfortunately, we'll run the numbers, and yes, anything can still change. The boats do have to go through tech inspection, so don't write anything in ink. But out on the water looked pretty clean, and it did not look terribly good for Andrew Tate and the Goodman Real Estate U91. They needed a victory in that heat. They didn't get it. He came in with 700 points. He's going to pick up a third place, given everything goes through tech. 700, 225. He's going to have 925 points. That's going to put him behind J. Michael Kelly. It's going to put him behind Corey Peabody. It's going to put him behind Jamie Nielsen and Dave Villwalk and Gunnar O'Farrell. So, translation, he will probably be in our trailer position come final heat time. Tough break, and we'd hoped we were going to get a good race out of that one. I know everybody was kind of hoping that Andrew was going to have to earn it and run down a hard-charging Corey Peabody. And Corey was up to the task. He was ready to go. But unfortunately, and to your point, Tanner, I mean, you pointed it out. It's been happening quite a bit. It's been happening to Corey. He went down to ground idle twice during the warm-up period. But when Andrew went down, it took him longer to get it respooled, and he did it very late in the process. And by then, it was too late to catch up, and
yeah,
the writing was on the wall.